freezing. And
this is the weirdest hotel ever.
yeah.
I just keep picturing if I was actually staying in a room here. I'd be like, God, there's like such bad and terrible vibes in every room.
It does kind of feel where you check in with no luggage because you know you're never checking in. Congratulations on this movie.
Oh, thanks.
I live here, so I get to see things in advance. I saw it, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm a huge David Cronenberg fan, hands down, anyway. But I loved the spirit of this. I love that David seems to be making the movies that he wants to make, regardless of anything, anything else. And this movie, I think, is really emblematic of that. So let's talk about I'm not going to stray into the personal here, but huge star, you live in Los Angeles, you understand this world from the bottom up, I would think. So tell me a little bit about when you first saw this script and said, this is satirizing a world, like this is something I really know about.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I've met a lot of the characters, kind of archetypal characters, or sort of. I feel like I've met examples of a lot of them. The young people, I think. There's the one scene where all the little girls are talking about people being menopausal and all that stuff. And it's just something about the tone. Because I think that's supposed to be set in Soho House as well in LA. And I just, it just looks like it. And I saw that, I was like, I've walked past people, and when you see these, children are clearly underage, drinking stuff. It's kind of what it used to be. It's changed quite a lot now in LA.
Why so, do you think?
I think because you can't, all these kids, when I first started going to LA, everyone was underage, and if you're a famous actor, you could literally the rules did not apply. You could be a 16-year-old and just go into a club, but now that there's camera phones and all this stuff,
right.
it just doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
But that little period was so weird when you'd see a 14-year-old actor just wasted, doing lines of blow off a table, and it's crazy. But no, they're just at the parents' house.
Well, so is it then that this isn't? It feels like satire to me, but is it not? Would you say that it's not satire?
I guess it is. In a way, they're quite extreme. But I don't even think I've really thought about the sort of Hollywood aspect of it. There are a couple of scenes when Van's talking to her agent and stuff, and those kind of comments. That seems like it's verbatim of things. But yeah, I kind of liked the sort of mystic aspect of it. It's funny that David's always sort of talking about being militant atheist. So I saw every single movie he does is so spiritual. And just sort of saying, and I think he just sort of says oh no, it's not this, it's not that at all. And then it's just yes, it is. It's there's a weird transcendent quality, the repetition of the poem and all these things. It's like a druid kind of chant. It's so strange. You can't have any logical explanation for it. There's a mysticism to it.
Well, I would say, because he, generally speaking, is the smartest guy in any room that he's in, that when he says he's an atheist, what that means is that he has studied all that stuff and then made up his mind not to buy in.
Yeah.
But he understands it, I think. Understands it for what it is. Whereas, I could just blindly say, well, I'm a Christian, or I am, and which, without really thinking about it too much, I go to church, and and so maybe that's where the spiritualism comes from.
Yeah. But yeah, he's definitely. There's something. I just like the last scene of the movie, and maybe I'm just really into it because I'm a very spiritual person, and I'm just what are you talking about? Yeah, the last scene, I just always see this kind of weirdly transcendent thing. Even on the altar of the burnt house and all this stuff, it's family as religion and stuff. And there's something. There's this kind of, and also the way the family reacts to each other. It's these kind of weird blood honor oaths with everyone. It's crazy, all these weird secrets. It's all the priests hiding stuff in the Catholic Church and stuff. He's hiding these disgusting secrets which they all think are going to destroy them. It's funny, and just not wanting to confront anything.
So your character I'm dying to say, have you always been spiritual? Or is it something that, because you've had an unusual life in that sense, sometimes I find that to grasp onto something makes everything that is so unusual feel grounded somehow?
I don't know. I think it's kind of something sort of like hope as well. I mean, I just like the idea of there being some kind of little magic realm.
Yeah.
I don't know. Someone told me the other day that the best proof of the existence of heaven is that good people aren't rewarded enough in reality. And I was like, I kind of agree with that.
That's awesome. Oh, well, we should we'll tweet that out to David right now and see how he responds. Your character is someone like you would meet, I think, in a lot of instances in Los Angeles. He wants to be a screenwriter. He's involved in the business, but he's doing another job to make ends meet. Do you base that on anyone, or is it just on the page?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking. I talked to David about it at the beginning, and it was quite sort of blank at the beginning. But I didn't even really. I sort of realized that maybe I'm kind of quite amoral as well. The fact that I didn't really judge him on like he's just basically just sleeps with. Like, it's only with the God, fuck, I forgot what Mia's character's name is now.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Shit.
I'll add it in later. Yeah.
Like, just to get to Havana, and has absolutely no qualms whatsoever. I mean, there was one scene, the scene after I Sleep with Havana, I did it, it was cut out of the movie, but the reaction afterwards was just like, this horrible reaction. I was like, just kind of like, you're just kind of laughing at the absurdity. Like, he just doesn't give a shit. I mean, he's like, I want to be an actor. Like, it's just like.
Well, one of the things that I thought was so telling in that scene, it was one line. So you just had sex with Vanna in the back seat of the car. It's in an awkward way in the back seat of the car. And then she gets out and she goes, "Don't get out. Go over the seat."
Yeah.
And it's like, not the first time she's done this.
Yeah.
Not, you're like, it just seemed like she understands the rules so much in terms of.
And I think he understands as well. That's why I kind of like that's why I was kind of pissed off that David cut it out. But it's like, when you sort of laugh, like, because that's obviously like, you know, if you're like, actually like someone and you're having sex with them and saying like, I don't really want to see you do this, it should affect you in some way, and like, it just doesn't affect Jerome, which is like, fuck it. He's kind of, you know, he's part of the same hypocrisy.
What is it? I mean, you've now made 2 films with David Cronenberg, and I'm guessing there may be more. Who knows? You guys seem to have a little simpatico thing going on. What is it?
I don't know. I mean, it was kind of just doing Cosmopolis to sort of. I mean, I think I have quite a similar sense of humour to him in a funny sort of way. And then, I don't know, he likes to sort of. I kind of like doing things that feel a little bit dangerous, and like, there's not many people who do that. And I think also just the way I work, I don't really relate to that many normal things. I like things that are a little bit kind of sort of almost surreal. I find them easier to play. I mean, sort of, I don't really gravitate towards like kitchen sink dramas or something.
Playing the dad in a suburban drama.
Yeah, I don't feel like that, and it's sort of, I like things that are just sort of slightly off the wall. But he's just fun to be around as well. I mean, he's kind of and really, really confident when he's working, so it makes everyone else feel really confident.
I love that. Up until this movie, I don't know how many movies he's made, 30 movies or something like that, had never shot in Los Angeles.
Or in America.
Yeah. Shoots under the Hollywood sign with no permit. Police come out. Apparently not. and that's why, like, people thought things were wrong, right? And so the police were called. Helicopters are circling around. I'm like, he's 70 and he's still a badass. And, you know, there's just something that's so great.
Yeah, they shut it down. Every single person. Because all the people who were around, because no one had shot it from that angle before. Yeah. And all the neighbors were like, what's happening?
Well, you're not allowed up there, right?
Yeah, it was also the first time the Hollywood sign had ever been lit. Because they weren't allowed to light it at night.
That's right.
And so everyone, like, the entire neighborhood was coming out. They're like, what? Like, and like calling up the council and stuff. And just being, that's not allowed.
I just love that his sort of proclivity for causing trouble. I mean, if you are a Canadian and a fan of his, you'll know that 30 years ago, like his movies were up in front of Parliament because they were getting government money, and people are like, we can't be making movies like this in this country. So he hasn't lost that, and I love that about him. What do you hope that audiences take away from this? Once they've seen it and digested it, I mean, for me, it's a movie that, as I say, I've just seen it once. I have to see it, I think, a couple more times before I really get it, I think. And I kind of love that. It's like a Rubik's Cube almost to me. What do you hope people take away from it?
I don't know. I'm always terrible at... Because I don't really know what I've taken away from it. I mean, I know that, I remember walking out of the premiere at Cannes. It's also got a great soundtrack as well, and they were playing the soundtrack on the carpet as we were going out, and you just sort of feel weirdly numb afterwards. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, for one thing, I think Julianne's so phenomenal in it, and it's worth seeing regardless of anything else, just for that. Just for those duck lips alone, and that is such a great little touch. When I first met her on the first day, I didn't realize she was kind of half in character when I was talking to her, and I was like, wow, that's really good casting. I never would have thought Julianne was like that. And then later on the night, I'm like, wow, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I think, I don't know, there's just something so jarring and weird about it. I don't know. I mean, I can't really tell what it is. But it must be an unusual situation to see your movie at Cannes like that, and then walk out, and you don't have I would have time for quiet reflection if I wanted to go have a coffee. You walk onto a red carpet, and there's things happening that make it a different experience for you than it would be for anybody else. And then you go to, especially at Cannes as well, when you go to the party afterwards, and everyone wants to do a detailed critique of it. Everyone's a film critic afterwards. And you're just and you're just kind of drunkenly listening. I just want to have a drink. Looking for a cheeseburger. That's our time. Robert, thank you so much. Thanks a lot. Pleasure to speak to you. Yeah.